Okay, today I thought I'd talk about fats. Even the word sounds scary, doesn't it? That we all know that we need to have fats in our life. That doesn't mean you have to be fat, and it doesn't mean that fats are bad for you. But there are fats that are bad for you. There really are. I think I need to adjust me a little bit. There we go. But we need to separate the facts about fats, separate the facts from fiction. That's my title of my video that I thought was kind of cool. We have to know that to make choices with the fats, we have to make healthy choices. Just because it says fats in the label doesn't mean that it's not healthy for you. But there are fats that when you're reading the labels that aren't good for you. And one of them is trans fat. And the reason that the trans fats are so bad for you, it's because it raises your LDL, which is your bad cholesterol. I always like to think of it as lousy, so that's why it's LDL. So I always think of it as lousy. But it also lowers your HDL, which is, to me, is your happy, which is your good. So I always think LDL, lousy, HDL, happy. So do we want to feel lousy or do we want to feel happy? That's how I relate my cholesterol levels. And the reason that it's bad, because for obvious reasons, it's going to increase your risk for heart attacks, for strokes, just heart disease in general, congestive heart failure. It's just not healthy for your body to have them. And there's not one single thing, there's not one single health benefit to having a trans fat in your diet. But unfortunately, it's just that everything. It's part of the reason that when Weight Watchers figures out their values of foods, the foods that are high in trans fat are very high in smart points. And so sometimes you wonder, how come? And like before they did the freestyle, maybe they didn't have as many points as they do now. And I think it's just because Weight Watchers has realized that the trans fats just are not healthy for you, and they're going to try to keep you from taking the extra points for it, and really thinking second, like giving yourself a second thought. Do I really, really want this really high point meal that in the long run is not going to be healthy for me? Some of the foods that contain fats are baked goods, cookies, cakes, crackers, your snacks, which I was very surprised that she mentioned, microwave popcorn. Microwave popcorn is really high in fats too because of the oil that they use for you to pop it. Someone had offered a suggestion that they put regular popcorn in a brown paper bag in the microwave. But she never said if they coated the bag with anything. I think I would spray the bag myself. I would probably spray the bag with like a healthy olive oil, just to keep it from kind of sticking. But I think I'm going to try that. And then she said what she does afterwards is she sprays her own butter on it. If you figured the butter into your points, you could actually use real butter. I prefer to use the real butter and just use it. A lot other things are your creamers and margarine, butter. They have all of those fats. Saturated fats obviously clog your arteries, and this makes up a big production of the LDL cholesterol, which you don't want to do. So you want to try, if you're going to include these things, these kind of fats into your diet, you do really want to try to limit the amount that you use them. They say that you should, any kind of a fat in your diet, well, you shouldn't even have a trans fat in your diet, but your healthy fats should make up at least 10% of your diet for the day. And that's how you get 10% of your calories, rather, from the fats. And like I said, you find fats in just about everything, and it's in your beef and your pork and your 2% milk and your butter and your sugar and your cheeses. You just have to, like really pay attention to the labels is really what they're telling you. If you cannot pronounce it, then obviously your body does not want it and doesn't need it, especially doesn't need it. Unsaturated fat is your friend, and sometimes you can swap it out and it'll give you, it's better for your heart if you swap them out. And if you eat foods with unsaturated fat, it's going to make you feel fuller longer, and it's just going to keep you satisfied for a longer period of time. They had suggested using like 3 smart points worth of avocado and put it on a healthy toast. My new thing that I love is this Ezekiel bread, which is 2 points. And then I put a little bit of avocado. Now it's 5 points for a slice of toast. That's a lot of points. I really realize that that's a lot of points for a piece of toast. But if you have like a grapefruit and an egg with it, you know, it's a 5-point breakfast and it's still keeping you full. And, you know, that's the whole point of even though you're eating 0 points, you still want to feel full. And sometimes you just need that extra couple points. Don't think that you could, you know, you could have your whole meals all day long with just 0 points. But it's not going to satisfy you, and it's not going to satisfy your body unless you're balancing it out with all the things from all the different food groups. And some of the other ways that you can get, there are 2 types of fats, the monounsaturated fats or polyunsaturated fats. And those are found in avocados, canola oil, peanut oil, coconut oil, and you can also find it in nuts and I've never had them, sardines. They just look, I don't know, they just don't look like anything you want. Salmon. There's all these different ways that you can get this. So we need to incorporate more fats in our diet is I guess the whole point of this. And don't be afraid of putting the fats in it. There is fats in a lot of the foods that we eat. You just have to check your labels, make sure that it's a healthy fat that you're eating, and eat it without any guilt. Really, don't have any guilt. Just because it says fat doesn't mean you're going to get fat. It really doesn't. It just means that your body needs it. Your body needs fats and proteins and carbohydrates and proteins and fruits and vegetables and grains. Your body's set up like a machine, and you need to oil the machine. And if you don't get all of this in the proper dosages, you're just not doing yourself a favor, and you're not doing your body a favor. And nowadays, we're so much more aware of everything that's in foods. There's so many labels on different foods, and we just have to check the labels. So if you have any suggestions for me of anything you'd like me to research and look up, let me know. I'll look it up and give you a video on that. In the meantime, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like button, and share it if you think somebody might be interested in the subject.